Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about my score sheet from the IPSF World Pole and Aerial Sports Championships, because I thought it would just be fun to kind of go through my score sheet, look at the score that I got, why I got that score compared to my routine and everything like that. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I did also post my score sheet on Instagram because I am a very curious person and I love when other athletes post their score sheets and you can kind of look at their routine and look at their score sheets and see how they did, which compulsories they got, that sort of thing. And it really helps you to learn more about the scoring system and how that all works and kind of train your knowledge of the code of points and how things are scored. So I thought that I would share my score sheets, and when I did, I asked if people would be interested in a video explaining more, and people said yes, they were. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Is I'm going to do a little video explaining this whole score sheet. Before we get into this, obviously this is going to be a little bit of a technical video and you kind of need to understand the IPSF system and the scoring system to kind of understand what I'm going through now. So if you want, I've done a kind of beginner's intro to the IPSF competitions and pole competitions and the scoring system. I'll link that video somewhere here, so you can go watch that beforehand if you're not exactly sure what you're getting into here. But if you know about the IPSF scoring system, if you've competed before, you know what's going on, then this will probably be interesting to you. Before we start, I just have to give a quick disclaimer. I am not a qualified IPSF judge. This is going to be based on my own knowledge of what I know about the code of points. I have done a code of points training. I do like to think that I know the code of points fairly well. I've been competing for a number of years now, so I do know quite a bit about how things are scored, but I'm not a qualified judge. I also wasn't on the judging panel for my own routine, so I don't know exactly why I scored the scores that I did from a judge's perspective. This is going to just be my own interpretation of why I think I scored the way I did. So I might be wrong in some cases, I might be right in other cases, but this is just my perspective on the scores that I got and why I think that I got the score that I got. And with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to look at is my compulsory score. So when you get your score sheet, obviously there is the different sections here. I don't know if you can even see this, but we have the compulsory score first, and that is all my moves. I only go up to move number 9, not move number 11, because I competed in the para pole division, so I only have to have 9 compulsories. Starting off with my total score, I got 2.2 for compulsories, and I missed 3 compulsories in total. For me, I think that is pretty great. It is really difficult to get all of your compulsories. I wasn't expecting to get all of my compulsories, and as we'll go through them, I'll tell you why I didn't expect to get some of them. So my first compulsory I did achieve. That is a 0.5 move my spin on static, and it is the reverse grab straddle into pencil. I did get this at nationals, so there was obviously the chance that I would get it again at worlds. So I'm really happy that I was able to achieve that one. The second one is one that I knew I was never going to get. So this was my aerial deadlift 1A deadlift from shoulder mount grip. It was a 0.4 value, and I definitely did not complete this to code of points standards. This was a move that I put in because I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to do an aerial deadlift, and I wanted to improve my shoulder mounts through this training process. And obviously there was the hope that I would be able to get it to code of points standards from the time I started training it to kind of the actual competition, but it was a very short time period to make a massive improvement, and I did improve a lot in terms of my shoulder mounts. If you watched my training and prepping for worlds video, you know that there was a point where I was not even getting my aerial shoulder mount at all. So the fact that I even managed to do it and not get a -3 for missing a move for this, I'm happy with that. I wasn't expecting to get it to code of point standards, and I know exactly why that was a 0 on there. My next compulsory number 3, I am very pleasantly surprised that I got that. That was my handspring straddle, which is S38, 0.4 points. And I I was hoping I was going to get it at Worlds, but I wasn't sure. I can be a little bit wobbly in that one, so I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to get it, but I got it on the day, so I'm very happy with that. Then my next three compulsories, compulsory 4, 5, and 6, I had written down as a CBS bonus, CBS 1 bonus. And basically what that means is that if I achieve each of those compulsories and I hold them spinning for one rotation, I will get an extra 0.5 points for each 2 that I combine. So my combined compulsories was butterfly twist one hand into Russian layback into front split. So I did not achieve my butterfly twist one hand. I think that was probably my legs in stag position weren't quite right, is why I wouldn't have gotten that one. But then I did achieve the next 2. So I got my Russian layback and I got my front split. I'm actually very happy that I got my front split, because sometimes I fail to extend my back leg enough and like fail to get quite 180 enough of a split. So I'm very happy that I actually managed to like fully extend my back leg and actually be in the correct split position for that on the day. So I was able to get that. And then because I got both of those, number 4, 5, and number 6, and because I held them both for one rotation on the spinning pole, that is why I have the 0.9 here. So in parapole, I'm only allowed to choose moves up to a 0.5 value. But my move number 5, the Russian layback, is a 0.4, and then they add the 0.5 for the compulsory bonus onto that, so I get 0.9. It would have been another one over here for number 4 if I had achieved the move, but because I did not achieve the move, they don't give you the compulsory bonus for it. Then moving on to compulsory number 7, that was one I was pretty sure I was going to get. That was my inverted tuck 5 hold, my spin on spinning. I've never really had any issues with that, so that I was pretty sure I was going to get. Number 8 is my jade split, or the hip hold split 2. That was a 0.5, but I kind of knew that I wasn't going to get that. I really struggled with extending my back leg fully in that, and I just had a feeling it wasn't going to happen on the day, so I'm not too surprised about that. And then the last one was my eagle, or my inside leg hang back split, which was a 0.5, and I got that, so I'm very, very happy with that. And then you'll notice here, this is a little bit embarrassing, but I got a -1 for an incorrect form, and I went back and I checked my forms with my coach afterwards, and we realized what it was, and it was such a silly mistake to make. But basically, on my inverted in my spin on spinning, I wrote on my forms inverted tuck thigh hold when it is inverted thigh hold tuck. So I just swapped the name around, and that means that I gave the move the incorrect name, which is a -1. I also forgot to say on my inside leg hang back split, I did the 1, not because there's multiple variations. I did the first variation and I didn't specify that. So that is why I got a -1 for that. That's very, very annoying. I should not be making those kinds of mistakes. And that's why my coach had asked me to send my forms to her so that she could check them, but I didn't. I was very silly because I was doing them like a little bit last minute. So that is a very silly mistake to have made, and I'm very annoyed that I did that. Then next is my technical bonus score, 6.5. I'm very happy with that. That 6.5 comes from all of my technical bonuses that I put in, so my drops, my jump ons, my jump offs, my spins, etc., and then also like my overall scores for strength, flexibility, etc., etc. 6.5 is a pretty good score for me. I think it's one of the highest scores that I've gotten. So I'm pretty happy with that. My technical deductions, I'm very, very happy with this, 24.5, which means that I only got 1 poor, like it could have been like a loss of balance or a poor transition or something like that, but I only got 1 0.5 deduction, so I'm very, very pleased with that. And then my art and choreo score was 3.5. This is similar to what I got at nationals. My art and choreo score at nationals was also pretty low. This is a pretty low score for art and choreo, but compared to a lot of the other athletes at Worlds, the art and choreo scores were all kind of in a similar region from the athletes that I spoke to. So I'm not like annoyed at that or anything. Like I understand, like in the context of comparing myself to some of the other scores that were achieved for art and choreo at the time, like I definitely believe that this is like a fair score in terms of I know my art and choreo is not strong. It's never been my strong suit. It is something that I'm trying to work on, but there were definitely moments where I wasn't like, fully in the performance aspect of it, I'm focusing more on the moves, and that is something that I do need to work on and do need to try and improve on. So I fully understand why this score, like, it's a low score, which is disappointing, but I fully understand why it's a low score. So it makes sense. I'm not mad at it. And that brings me to my total score of 36.7. Obviously would have been a 37.7 if not for that incorrect form, which is, again, such a stupid mistake to make. I really kicked myself for that, but at least it doesn't really like affect anything overall. It wouldn't have made me like break the world record again or anything like that. So at least I'm like not, you know, it wasn't the end of the world that it was an incorrect form. It's just a little bit like annoying. But yeah, that is my whole score sheet for Worlds. Overall, I understand exactly why I got this score, and I think it is the score that I deserved for the routine that I put on the day. Obviously, there are things that I would have liked to do better on, like obviously it would have been great to have a higher technical bonus score, a higher art and choreo score, but again, I completely understand why this was the score that I got, and I'm not upset with it at all. So that is pretty much everything I have to say about this, my score. I hope that you found this video like informative or useful or interesting in some way. If you did, please like the video and then leave me a comment if you do have any questions or anything you want more info on this, and subscribe to the channel if you're interested. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.